Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Spinmaster, the Cape Crusader Batmobile. This Batmobile is intended for the 12-inch 1/6 scale basic action figures from the Spinmaster company. I'd read online and seen a lot of pictures stating this item is going to work great for your 6-inch scale 1/12 collection, and that's why I got this thing. An interesting fact about this Batmobile, it's only been released overseas in the UK. I'm assuming a US release was planned. Maybe COVID-19 halted that, but there's been no official word. So I hit up my buddy from the UK, had him order a couple of these from Amazon.com, and then he shipped them to me. Turned out I could have just had Amazon.com shipped to me and saved me a few bucks. But either way, I'm happy to have gotten this thing. When this hits the US, it's going to retail for 20 or 25 bucks. These basic figure items are pretty cheap usually. So, now that we got this in hand, let's check out the packaging. As you can see, really no part of the box at the top. The front here, the bat symbol, Batmobile, the Cape Crusader. Fits 12-inch figures, measures 30 centimeters, ages 4+. Spinmaster. The top, there's no box, but we got a really good looking Batmobile here. Not much going on the front. Other side, there is a barcode, as well as a bunch of credits. Nothing on the back. And really not too much going on the bottom either. So, with no further ado, let's crack this bad boy open. Alright, now that we got this vehicle out of the package, here it is. This thing is huge, this thing is long, this thing is massive, and I'm really liking the way it looks so far. I'd read really good things about this Batmobile, and wasn't sure, but I took the gamble, and I'm glad I did. This thing doesn't have any actual accessories, and it doesn't really have any action features except for the canopy opening and the wheels spinning. So just a reminder, this vehicle is for Spinmaster 12-inch figures, 1/6 scale, but I actually bought it to use with my 6-inch figures, 1/12 scale, or possibly 7-inch figures as well. So let's take a look at this thing. In the back here, we've got some fins, nice wheel that spins. Got a nice amount of detail on the inside there. You can see the bat signal on the rim there. And it spins around. Nice sculpting detail on the sides. It's basic, but effective. Liking the wheels. The top here, we've got this canopy. It's got windows. You can sort of see through them, a little bit transparent. Huge area for the engine here, very long. Got a Batman face on the front. It's loosely based off the Rebirth Batmobile. Liking what I'm seeing so far. This thing looks nice. The back, we've even got the exhaust back here, and I like the way that's done. The canopy can open. Pretty basic on the inside. No actual seats, but bear in mind this is intended for a very large figure to just sort of slide all the way in here. Looks like it's going to have clearance for almost any size Batman that I want to put in there. Like I said before, no actual accessories, no shooting missiles, and I'm totally cool with that. Those things usually look pretty childish. The action features we've got, 2 different sets of wheels. They spin, they're not connected. You spin one, the other one's not spinning. The bottom of this Batmobile is pretty basic. Front wheels, a little smaller, same design. They also spin, they do not rotate, but what do you expect for such a basic type vehicle? I think they've delivered on this very nicely. The canopy does open. That's about all it does. I've seen some people attach seats to here, and I was thinking about doing that, but I really don't want to make it restricting. I want to be able to fit any figure in here, which is kind of how it is right now. Overall, definitely digging this thing. Massive Batmobile. Now let's check out the measurements of this thing. So, from the back to the front, it's sitting at about 16 inches long or deep, and that's going to translate to about 40 centimeters. As far as how wide it is, it's going to be sitting at about 6.5 inches wide, which will be about 16.5 centimeters. Then as far as how tall it is, about 5 inches tall, going to be about 12.5 centimeters. Here it is with the Justice League Batcave. It fits in the repair dock, and that is fantastic. And of course, it also fits in the Superman vs. Batman Batcave as well. Here's Harold Alnut in the Batcave, repairing and fixing the Batmobile. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit too big to fit onto the Batman Forever Batcave playset. Here's Batman and Robin getting ready to hop into the Batmobile and patrol the city. Here's this Batmobile driving down the streets of Gotham. And here, just checking out some more of the city, making sure everything's peaceful. Here's Batman and Robin taking on a bunch of thugs at Gotham next to the Batmobile. And a slightly more aerial view of the combat. Now that we've taken a very good look at this Batmobile, its features, and where it's going to be going in my action figure city, now let's check out what action figures are going to fit in this vehicle. An interesting thing about this Batmobile, it's actually intended for these larger 12-inch basic figures. This particular figure is actually not from Spinmaster, it's from Mattel. I don't have any of the Spinmaster figures like this, as I choose not to collect them. I perceive them as pretty crappy, pretty basic. And my collection is 6 and 7 inch, so I have no place for 12-inch action figures. But this vehicle here is one of the basic ones intended to seat him. He looks way too big for it, and that's kind of the humor of it. Open up the canopy here. You can definitely slide Superman all the way in there, but it looks ridiculous. It's pretty much the same thing that Spinmaster figures are going to do with it. You can't shut with complete clearance. Now, I'm not trying to hate on these 12-inch basic figures. They're pretty cheap. I know a lot of people like them, but simply the fact that my action figure collection is 6 and 7 inch, I don't want them at all. I don't have any of them from Spinmaster. I did get some packs over the years. I got this Doomsday here. I believe that's where I got my Superman from. They were a 2-pack. This Doomsday I'm using for my 6-inch action figure collection because Doomsday was so large in Batman vs Superman and they never made one for that movie. And the right hand side here we have a Clayface. I believe he came in a 3-pack of Batman, Flash, and Clayface. I put the Batman Flash on eBay because I didn't need them, but kept Clayface as he can be oversized in my action figure world. Here's how these two oversized beasts would size up next to a 6 or 7 inch figure. That is why I got these guys. So let's talk about the interior for a second. Open up the canopy, look on the inside. It's pretty basic, just really one large seat to slide your figure all the way into. I've seen some people online talking about taking some seats and attaching them inside of there. That seemed to be a pretty interesting idea. So I went ahead and grabbed this Mattel wrestling breakaway car. I knew that seats were removable and thought, they would probably fit in there pretty nicely. Let's check it out. And you know what? They actually fit in there perfectly. If you were to take some epoxy and sculpt them in there, they would look very nice. I'm actually not planning to do that, as I want this to be able to hold any of my large action figures, which it currently does. But just one option there. I've seen people saying they're buying some chairs from Ready Controlled Kits and stuff like that, and I've seen some really cool custom jobs there. But that's going to restrict the type of figures you can put in there. I would love to have a 2-seater Batmobile, but I'm really liking being able to fit any of my DC figures in there right now. So next, let's check this Batmobile out compared with some other Batman figures from different various companies to see which ones fit in there. And then we'll check it out compared with some other 1/12 scale vehicles. Here he is with some McFarlane Toys DC figures. These are some of the larger figures I collect, 7 inches tall. So typically a Batman figure like this, 7 inches tall, huge plastic or rubber cape outstretched, isn't going to fit into any vehicles. But take this thing, open up the canopy, put the guy in there. He fits in there just fine. This is how he would look, pretty normal, natural. But if you wanted to, you can actually shove him all the way in there where he's pretty much completely invisible. This thing has a ton of clearance. The biggest McFarlane DC figures, even Hellbat armor can fit inside there. It can even go all the way down in. This thing is huge, can accommodate anything you want to put in there. Here's the McFarlane Rebirth Batman with a Mattel Damian Robin, both in there. Without seats, you kind of have to lay them down, but I love that you can just fit anything in here you want. Here's a whole bunch of different members of the Bat family, both from McFarlane and Mattel. if you're curious how many figures you can fit inside of this thing. And after messing around with the figures for a minute, spoiler's the only one left. So take this vehicle, complete clearance, pop open the canopy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 figures in there. And I didn't pick all the smallest figures I could find. I got some 7-inch McFarlane figures in there with huge capes. 7 6-inch scale action figures can get shoved in there. This thing is like a clown car. Here are several NECA Batman figures next to this Batmobile. Here's a NECA Batman in the cockpit. It'll be no surprise to you, but pretty much any figure I show with this Batmobile is going to fit in there with complete ease. He's going to sort of lay in there. May not look quite the best. The biggest thing you have to worry about is them sliding all the way inside. Here are several DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures next to this Batmobile. I tried to pick some of these largest ones I could come up with. It doesn't matter if you're the big DC Cinematic Armored Batman in the back, the huge Arkham Knight Batman on the left, or your Capullo Batman with this really, really wide cape, or even Hush Batman with his outstretched cape. They will all fit in there with ease. This is just a great comic Batmobile. Here it is with some Mezco Batman figures. And here's the Mezco Batman in the cockpit. Here are some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse Batman figures next to this Batmobile. I think the Ninja Batman in the back there is one of the biggest ones they've made. Of course, he's going to fit in there just fine as well, even with those stiff rubber plastic capes. And guess what? Room for another one as well. Then, with some Mafex Batman figures. Not only does he fit in there, but I could probably fit all 4 of those guys in there at the same time. And here it is, next to some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And here's one of the Batman figures inside. Now let's check this thing out, compared with some other vehicles in my action figure world. Even though this vehicle is not 1/12 scale, that is what I'm using it for, and those are the type of vehicles I'm going to compare it to. Here it is, next to the recently released Mattel Slambulance from Wrestling. And then, next to the new Mystery Machine from Scoob. And then, next to a Mattel Wrestling Breakaway Car. Then, next to a Playmates Cowabunga Carl Party Band for Ninja Turtles. This thing is great for your 6 and 7-inch figures. Now let's check it out compared with some Batman vehicles. Here it is with the Bat Raptor from McFarlane DC Multiverse. Here it is next to the Mattel Batman Missions Batmobile. This one will accommodate 6-inch figures as well and is a recent cheap release. Here it is with a couple of Mattel basic Batmobiles. One of them is from Batman vs Superman, one of them is from Justice League. It's intended for the cheaper 6-inch scale figures. Here's a little bit bigger and better detailed Batmobile from Justice League. This one was intended for the Mattel Multiverse figures. Here it is, next to the ultimate radio-controlled Batmobile from Justice League. Even though this thing is bigger, I think the Multiverse version is the best one. And while we're on the subject of Justice League vehicles, here it is next to the Mattel Nightcrawler. This was from the Talking Superheroes Justice League line. This thing will hold the smaller end of 6-inch figures. Here it is next to the Mattel Flying Fox from Justice League. This was for the 6-inch basic line. And even though this thing is absolutely huge, the scale is all screwed up. It should be way bigger than this. It can accommodate the smaller end of a 6-inch figure in the cockpit. Then, next to the Mattel 1966 Batmobile, this will also fit the smaller end of 6-inch scale figures. Then, here it is with the DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman the Animated Series Batmobiles. both variations. Then the absolutely massive Batwing from Batman the Animated Series. Then, with a few Bat Cycles from DC Collectibles, Batman the Animated Series. And here, with a few different Bat Pods from the Dark Knight trilogy. One's from Mattel Movie Masters, one's from Mafex, and one's from SH Figure Arts. And here, with another massive vehicle. This was the Hot Toys 1/12 scale Dark Knight Rises The Bat. This is a 2-seater cockpit and can also accommodate the smaller end of 6-inch figures. Here it is next to a Mattel Batmobile from the line called Batman. This will accommodate 6 and 6.5-inch figures easily. This was from a line called Batman, which was the predecessor to a line called DC Superheroes, which turned into DC Universe Classics and became Multiverse until Mattel lost the line last year. So overall, I must say I'm enjoying the hell out of the Spinmaster Batmobile. I'm liking it every bit as much as I expected I would. I'm very happy I had my buddy from the UK buy this and send it over to me. I did find out shortly afterwards I could have just purchased it myself from Amazon UK. They had international shipping and it would have saved me a few bucks. But it is what it is. It's sold out since then, and I've seen it on the American Amazon since then for about $30 plus $10 shipping, and that is also sold out. If you have any interest in getting this Batmobile and you see it, I suggest you grab it. It's possible in a few months this will be available all over the US for $25 or so, but we really don't know. There's been no official word on if US retailers pass this up or if COVID-19 is stopping me from getting out here. This thing is intended to be with 12-inch figures, but I think it looks ridiculous with them, and I think it looks fantastic with 1/12 scale 6 and 7-inch action figures. If I had to rate this thing, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. I'm just very much enjoying this thing. Really the only drawback is how basic the inside is, but I love that I can shove pretty much anything in there and shut the canopy with ease. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.